the Mongol will forever remain the scariest empire that sends shivers down the spines of those who witnessed the brutal activities that happened during the reign of Genghis Khan and his dynasty. Picture this, a vast empire that stretched from Asia to Europe, led by fierce warriors who struck fear into the hearts of millions. We're talking about Genghis Khan and his ruthless Mongol horde. From their lightning-fast conquests to their ingenious but terrifying tactics, the Mongols left a trail of devastation in their wake. Cities reduced to rubble, populations decimated, and a reputation that still shocks many to their bone marrows. Join me in this documentary as I reveal the untold story that made Mongol a terrifying and scary empire that generation to generation will forever remember. In the vast expanse of Central Asia during the 12th century, the Mongols were a collection of loosely connected tribes, often engaged in rivalries and conflicts. It was in this turbulent landscape that a man named Temujin emerged, destined to become Genghis Khan. Temujin's early life was marked by hardship. His father was poisoned, and his family was left to fend for themselves in the harsh steppes. These early struggles forged his resilience and leadership skills. As he matured, Temujin embarked on a mission to unite the disparate Mongol tribes. His charisma and strategic prowess gradually won over tribe after tribe. Through a mix of diplomacy and force, he managed to establish alliances and subdue rival leaders. In 1206, a pivotal moment in history occurred when Temujin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. This title symbolized his authority over all Mongol tribes. Under his leadership, the empire transformed from a loose confederation into a formidable military machine. Genghis Khan implemented several key innovations that set the stage for the empire's expansion. He restructured the Mongol military, emphasizing speed and mobility, which proved crucial in their later conquests. His use of talented generals and a code of law known as the Yasa brought discipline and unity to the Mongol forces. With these reforms in place, Genghis Khan began a relentless campaign of conquest. His armies swept through Central Asia, the Middle East, and beyond, rapidly expanding the empire's territory. Their use of cavalry and psychological warfare tactics struck terror into the hearts of their enemies. By the time of Genghis Khan's death in 1227, the empire had grown into the largest land empire in history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. This extraordinary rise to power was a testament to Genghis Khan's vision, leadership, and the unification of the Mongol tribes. The stage was set for an empire that would leave an indelible mark on world history. First off, the Mongols were known for their incredible speed in conquest. They had a well-organized system of communication using a relay of riders, which allowed them to coordinate their attacks with astonishing swiftness. This meant that once they set their sights on a target, they could appear seemingly out of nowhere, catching their enemies off guard. As for their terrifying tactics, the Mongols didn't just rely on brute force. Psychological warfare was their specialty. They used a range of tactics to instill fear, including displays of extreme brutality. For example, they sometimes ordered the execution of every 10th man in a city they conquered, a gruesome practice known as the decimal system. When it came to siege warfare, the empire were relentless. They would encircle a city, cutting off all supplies, and then employ a variety of tactics to break the defender's will. One infamous method was the use of siege towers and battering rams, which could reduce even the most fortified city walls to rubble. Now let's talk about the brutal massacres. Nishapur, a Persian city, witnessed one of the most horrifying events in Mongol history. After its capture, the Mongols unleashed a massacre of unparalleled brutality. Estimates suggest that hundreds of thousands of civilians were slaughtered, leaving the city in ruins and striking terror into the hearts of others who heard of the carnage. Another example is the Siege of Merv, where the Mongols allegedly killed nearly every inhabitant, resulting in a death toll that reached into the hundreds of thousands. Such horrific events became part of the Mongols' legacy, leaving a chilling mark on the pages of history. picture the Silk Road as the ancient world's information superhighway connecting the East and West in a bustling network of trade and ideas. When the Mongols entered the scene, they brought both awe and terror. Trade and communication, once thriving along the Silk Road, felt the tremors of Mongol rule. On one hand, the Mongols secured the Silk Road routes, making them safer and more accessible. This led to increased exchanges of goods and knowledge between East and West, sparking a period of cultural and scientific growth known as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace. But on the other hand, the empire disrupted these routes with their conquests. Cities that once thrived as trade hubs found themselves sacked and in ruins. The Mongols, while facilitating trade in some ways, also brought destruction in their wake. Now let's dive into the nightmarish sack of Nishapur. This Persian city bore witness to one of the Mongols' most horrifying massacres. After capturing Nishapur, they unleashed a wave of brutality that defies description. Hundreds of thousands of residents were mercilessly slaughtered, and the city was left in ruins, a chilling testament to the Mongols' ferocity. The sheer scale of the Nishapur massacre was so haunting that it sent shockwaves across the region. It was a stark warning to other cities that resistance against the Mongols would be met with unparalleled savagery. The Mongol Empire's footprint on Eurasia was profound and enduring. Their conquests reshaped the political, cultural, and economic landscape. They established a vast network of trade routes, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies between East and West. This, in turn, contributed to the Renaissance in Europe and the flourishing of the Islamic Golden Age. However, the Mongol Empire also left a darker legacy. Psychological trauma, the brutality of Mongol conquests marked by massacres and unimaginable violence, scarred the psyche of conquered populations. Entire cities lived in constant fear of the Mongols, knowing that resistance could result in utter devastation. This trauma reverberated through generations, leaving a deep-seated fear and hatred of Mongol rule. The Mongols are remembered as both conquerors and administrators. They established one of the largest empires ever seen, with a remarkably efficient administrative system that allowed diverse cultures to coexist. They promoted religious tolerance and facilitated cultural exchanges, leaving a mark on the regions they ruled. In popular culture, the Mongols continue to capture the imagination. Films, books, and video games often portray them as fierce warriors and ruthless conquerors. Genghis Khan, in particular, is a legendary figure, depicted as a brilliant strategist and charismatic leader. The Mongols' nomadic lifestyle, distinctive clothing, and formidable horsemanship are iconic elements that persist in depictions of their culture. The Mongol Empire, once an unstoppable force, faced several key factors that ultimately led to its decline. One major challenge was the vastness of their empire. It stretched over such immense territories that it became increasingly difficult to govern effectively. The distances between different parts of the empire made communication and coordination a monumental task. Another factor was the death of key leaders, such as Genghis Khan and his immediate successors. Their deaths triggered power struggles and disputes over succession, destabilizing the empire's unity. Leadership transitions were often marred by infighting among the empire nobility, which weakened their ability to govern cohesively. Furthermore, the empire encountered resistance from local populations in various regions they conquered. This resistance was not only military but also included cultural and religious opposition. As the Mongols spread into more diverse regions, their ability to maintain control waned. The empire eventually split into separate khanates. These khanates were semi-autonomous regions led by different descendants of Genghis Khan. The Golden Horde in Russia, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Yuan dynasty in China were some of the major khanates. This division further weakened the central authority of the Mongol Empire. With the passage of time, the influence of the scary empire began to fade. Economic problems, political fragmentation, and the emergence of new regional powers all played a role. The Black Death, a devastating pandemic in the 14th century, also had a profound impact on the Mongol Empire, decimating populations and disrupting trade routes. The empire's legacy is marked by brutal campaigns, terror tactics, and savage massacres, making them one of history's most feared empires. Their relentless speed in conquest and psychological warfare tactics left lasting trauma. From their history, we learn the terrifying power of military innovation and the psychological impact of fear. The Mongols serve as a reminder that fear can be a formidable weapon in warfare, and their legacy reminds us of the complex interplay between conquest, brutality, and historical significance. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating history of the most brutal empire in history. We hope you found it as intriguing as we did. If you have any thoughts, questions, or your own insights to share, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments below. Your perspective adds depth to our discussions. Until next time.